Want you to be a part of my journey as I grow on YouTube. So kindly subscribe me there. Hello guys, welcome to part 2 of food consciousness video log, and I'm glad I've got enough reviews and critiques from the last video, and I'm glad that I was able to answer a lot of questions that came across to me on my Instagram page and on my Facebook page. So if you're watching this video on Facebook and if you're not following me there, kindly follow me is what I would advise you to, because I have some amazing content coming up only to make you fit, as my goal is to make close to 1,000 people fit. If you're watching this video on Instagram, I don't have to tell you to follow me because I'm sure you've already followed me there. If not, then I request you to do so, because I look forward to grow with you while you're becoming fit. I'm happy that I'm making one more person fit. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, I want you to be a part of my journey as I grow on YouTube. So kindly subscribe me there. It doesn't matter which channel you're watching me on, whether Facebook, Instagram or YouTube. Please subscribe and follow on all the channels, because I genuinely want to make a lot of people fit through my content, and I'm sure you're going to share it with a lot of people around you, because like me, even I'm sure you would believe that the fitness vibes, if spread, comes back to you in the form of good karma, and it will help you achieve your personal fitness goals when you see everyone around you fit. With that being said, let's talk about who that friend number 2 is, about whom we're going to discuss. I used the analogy of a friend in part 1, how protein is your best friend and you should show loyalty to it. Similarly, today I'm going to talk about a very important macronutrient who has been demonized recently in the health and fitness industry by some so-called self-proclaimed fitness gurus who advise you when to have it, when not to have it, or rather not have it. So I'm sure if you're in the gym, if you're working out, at times it's a little difficult to go for some additional repetitions or some additional weights, and that's the time when you call for a friend or a random spotter or your gym partner who will always help you by giving you support. That's the same thing which could be applicable to you if you're working out at the park or at home. If you have a trainer coming in, I'm sure he must be doing that. And this friend, the friend number 2, always serves that purpose. It's just that lately people have been a little scared of this friend, because there's this dilemma that's spread around that this special friend about whom I'm talking about is known to make people fat. Who is this friend? It's carbohydrate. So let's talk about what carbohydrate is. Let's understand this friend so we show loyalty to it and get the best out of it. Now, very first thing I'm going to tell you is the benefits of having carbs in your diet. I would quote, it is absolutely important for you to have carbs in your diet, because carbohydrate fuels your brain, your heart, your kidney, your liver, your central nervous system. Besides that, carbohydrate also has fiber, and fiber aids in digestion. If you're not having enough carbs, you're just not having enough fiber, and if you're not digesting food well, what's the purpose of having all the macronutrients? Besides that, if you deplete carbohydrate, it's not just the energy that is lost, because glucose is the primary source of energy that's broken down from carbs. Now, if you're not having enough carbs, you're not having enough glucose, and that's when you feel fatigue, you are a little dizzy. Besides that, you lose a lot of minerals and essential vitamins, because loads of micronutrient come from carbohydrate. Now, because someone said it on the internet, on YouTube or on a fitness blog, that you need to go on a certain diet pattern, could be a keto diet or a GM diet or a liquid diet. I'm not a big fan of these fad diets. People blindly follow. Trust me, out of 10, 9 people have followed some diet fads, and those 9 people have been unsuccessful in sustaining it. So obviously sustainability matters, And wherever you apply some unnatural method of dieting, that diet is never sustainable. You mess up your body's metabolic memory, and in the process, when you get back to normal eating habits, you become worse than how you were in the past. So please make a pledge that you stick to sustainable and simple yet easy dieting methods so you get the best out of it. Now, about carbs, we already spoke about the benefits. How do you show loyalty to carbs? Does that mean you should eat a lot of carbs? Like I said, eat a lot of protein? Not really. There are some points that matter. When you're consuming carbohydrate, know the type of carbohydrate that you're consuming. Get to know the nutritional fact of every carbohydrate-rich food item that you're eating. Most of the food items that involves a lot of carbs are cereals, pulses, sprouts, for that matter, your fruits, vegetables. So you have water-soluble carbs, you have insoluble carbs. Now, which type of carbs do you choose? Now, there's simple carbs, there's a complex carbs. You need to keep the simple carbs at bay and opt for more of complex carbohydrate. Now, what's the difference between complex carbohydrate and simple carbohydrate? Simple carbohydrate means a lot of sugar. Complex carbohydrate means a lot of fiber. Now, in a simple layman's language, or if I have to give you an analogy, you need to remember a very simple fact. Use your two-finger technique to know which is simple, which is complex carbs. Now, let me add a disclaimer. This technique is not applicable for all the food items. Some food items, yes. Some food items, no. For instance, if you pick up white rice and if you squeeze white rice using your two fingers, it gets a little sticky, gooey, starchy. Drop it. If you pick up brown rice with your two fingers, squeeze it, it's a little powdery. Why is it a little powdery? Obviously, it's less starchy and it will break down slowly in your system. Now, same thing may be applicable to white potato. Use your two fingers, squeeze it, a little sticky. Sweet potato, pick it, squeeze it, powdery. Now, does that mean white potato or white rice is bad? I would say no if you have it in certain portions and if you don't have a lot of it. However, my preference would be the one that has lots of fiber. Raise your food consciousness by knowing which carbohydrate source has more fiber in it and less sugar. You can Google it, you can check it on Lose It app. I've made a video on it. The one that has lesser sugar is the one that you have to opt for. Now, there's another thing that you need to be aware of. Glycemic index. It may sound a little technical, so don't get into the technicalities. Just understand a simple thing. There is a glycemic index table. Now, higher the glycemic index, worse it is for you. Lower the glycemic index, better for you. What does that mean? Every food item has a certain amount of sugar, which is broken down into glucose for release of energy. The pace at which it is broken down is mapped on that glycemic index. There are many fruits which are quite sweet, like a banana, custard apple, mango. They have a very high glycemic index, whereas there are some vegetables and fruits that have a lower glycemic index. Basically, it means that the sugar has broken down instantly, the sugar is breaking down slowly. Now, when you have that much amount of glucose, you've got that much amount of sugar, you've got to use it for energy. Now, is it feasible for you to burn this much amount of energy instantly after you've consumed food? I don't think so. You'll do it every day. However, if you do it, well and good. But if you eat something else which has a lower glycemic index with the resting metabolic rate, or with the basic activities, you tend to burn it in a swifter manner, as that gets converted into energy in an easier manner. Now, know your glycemic index of the food. For your information or for your convenience, I've added the glycemic index table in the description box below. Just click the link and access it to see which food has what glycemic figure. Now, with that being said, it is super duper important to know at what time should you be eating carbs. I've come across some videos where we have some fitness gurus talking about not having carbohydrates at night, or not having carbohydrate at a certain time, or you should consume carbohydrate post-workout. Again, let's keep it simple. In an entire day, whatever your basal metabolic rate target is, you need to complete that. If you try consuming food at night, and if it includes carbs, doesn't matter, as long as you're within your metabolic rate window. But just try avoiding sleeping instantly after consuming a lot of food. Now, best time to have carbs is the time when you're going to work out. So if you're having your breakfast or something, maybe 20-30 minutes before, if you have a good portion of carbohydrate, amazing for you, because it will add as a spotter to your exercise, and you'll feel energetic while doing it. However, it doesn't matter when you have it, at what time you have it. Make sure it's eaten in a certain quantified manner. The quantified manner I will explain you in a very simpler and in a generic and universal term. If your goal is to lose weight, I won't advise you to have a lot of carbs, but that doesn't mean you hate carbs. Understand the ratio of food. Now, if your basal metabolic rate is 1000 calories, you should have at least 40% coming from carbohydrate, which means close to 400 calories coming from carbohydrate. Now, there could be a little up and down with the figures, but that much you've got to consume. But if you are looking at some religious weight loss, I would advise you to keep your carbohydrate intake below 150 grams. The idea is being a minimalist, which means eating as much as you need, having as much energy as you need. So consume as much that you can burn. But if you consume this much and if you burn this much, you're just not meeting the purpose again. The purpose of carbohydrate is to give you energy. Glucose is the primary source of energy, and leave it there. That's the natural way of eating food. Don't be scared of carbohydrate. Go beast mode after consuming it and show a little loyalty to your carbohydrate, because everything is connected. The energy that comes from carbohydrate will help you drive your inner soul towards performing those heavy reps and heavy weights or heavy aerobic activities, which you will inadvertently burn and get a beautiful structure that you always desired for. So go train after consuming your carbs. Train, transform, inspire, and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, guys.